written something.
Well, yeah, I did. I got the coffee. I made the coffee. And I had to, cut anything out of, the local periodicals or that are about the authors that the publishing company represented.
It's only supposed to be...
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to do a bigger chunk.
No, we always knew it was only going to be 2 series. So I'm completely, from the beginning, it's always been what I've known, and that then the part is...
Okay, so picture this. The studio lights are glowing, cameras rolling, and the audience is practically buzzing with anticipation. It's a classic night on the Graham Norton show, right? Everyone's expecting cheeky jokes, some celeb flair, and a sprinkle of British wit. But nobody, and I mean nobody, was ready for what actually went down. Because sitting right there on that iconic red couch was Prince Harry. Yep, him, back in London for the Invictus Games' 10th anniversary and hoping to show off his chill rebranded side. This was supposed to be a cute PR move, a charming little TV moment. Instead, it turned into the most royal disaster we've seen on live television in years. What was meant to be Prince Harry's feel-good return turned into an emotional train wreck, and all of it unfolded under those unforgiving studio lights.
Overriding kind of feeling about Harry and Meghan over there at this point?
Well, it's difficult. I think in the press, it's very kind of anti-them.
Yes.
And it's been sort of like...
Now listen, Graham Norton. You know him, the talk show legend, started the show like he always does. Friendly, funny, full of charm, but honey, that smile, it hit a dagger. Because only minutes in, things took a turn. It started with light jokes, titles, teacups, royal fluff. But then Graham dropped the first little jab. "Go, Harry," he said, grinning like a cat about to pounce. "Will you be attending the 2027 games? Or is it gonna be another Zoom call from Montecito?" Oof. The crowd laughed. "Harry, not so much." He forced a smile, bless him. But Graham wasn't done. Oh, no, he kept going. "It's such a shame," Graham added, "when someone builds something amazing, then ghosts it like a bad Tinder date." The room exploded. Roaring laughter, the kind that hurts. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, bam, Graham hits him with the dagger. Maybe he's just scared the British public might salute, just not him. Silence. Then, howling laughter. Not the polite kind, the brutal, "Oh my God, he really said that" kind. And Harry, crimson, literally looked off stage like he was begging for someone to rescue him. Tried to mumble something about scheduling conflicts and family stuff, but the damage, done. And then he stood up, ripped off his mic, and stormed out and say a word. Just one last death glare at Graham and disappeared behind those velvet curtains. The whole room stunned. Even Graham looked like, oops, that might have gone a bit far. But he didn't miss a beat. At least he didn't throw a sword like in the old days. The crowd chuckled, but this time, yeah, it felt different. This wasn't just late night comedy anymore. This was a royal meltdown, and it was all caught live.
It's almost a safety thing. And subtlety, and that's what we get from William and Kate, a lot of subtlety.
The internet blew up. Harry storms out trended instantly. TikTok was flooded with clips, people dissecting every second. British tabloids had a feast. Norton nukes the prince. "The crown and the clown," headlines screamed. What could have been a charming comeback moment turned into a public unraveling. Instead of redemption, it was reputation wreckage. Sources from Montecito said Harry was furious, claiming he was ambushed. His team thought it would be a respectful, easy breezy chat, but come on, it's Graham Norton. This man doesn't do royal bootlicking. He serves sass, wrapped in velvet gloves. And Harry, he wasn't ready. British media, ruthless. The Telegraph called it a PR implosion. The Daily Mail said it was the end of Harry's UK comeback before it even started. Even The Guardian, who's usually gentle, said this wasn't just a failed TV appearance, it was a failed strategy. Across the pond. Some sympathy, sure. A few soft takes from LA calling Graham hostile and the audience mean. But let's be real, even the West Coast couldn't spin this mess. The verdict? Harry lost control of the story he was trying so hard to tell.
I think as a man, it's his job to protect his family, so I'm with him.
Uh-huh.
And it got worse. Insiders at Invictus worried. Sponsors were calling in, asking, is Harry still reliable? One top contact admitted, "We're in damage control mode." Even the veterans who used to adore Harry went quiet. Some straight up refused to talk to press, others anonymously. They were gutted. One ex-Royal Marine said it best, "We needed strength." He crumbled at a joke. That's not the Harry we knew. And the royal fam, oh, they were smug. No public comment, of course. But behind palace walls, satisfaction. One Clarence House insider spilled the tea. "He's proven what we feared. weird, too emotional, too reactive, too unpredictable. And for King Charles, terrible timing. Charles is trying to streamline the monarchy, make things look stable and solid. The last thing he needs is Prince Tantrum grabbing headlines. Even Prince William, who usually stays quiet, made a jab. He reportedly told a staffer, "Well, that's how the rest of us get treated." Ouch, it's such a fall from grace. Harry used to be the cool prince, the war hero, the guy who started Invictus. Now he's the punchline in a late night skit. And Meghan, silent. Oprah, crickets. Tyler Perry, nada. Hollywood's whispering. The Sussex brand is getting too messy. Netflix execs, nervous. One insider said, "We gave them the stage, but we didn't sign up for this drama." And Archwell, that once hyped nonprofit, it's quiet, like disturbingly quiet. Barely any updates. Social media's ghost town. Staff are leaving. People are noticing. This mission of service is starting to look like a publicity tour gone wrong. The fallout? Nuclear. Social media turned savage. People weren't just amused. They were done. One post read, "It's not about Graham being mean. It's about Harry being unable to take what he dishes out." Another said, "He wanted to be treated like a normal person." Well, normal people don't get to throw their toys and storm off when someone makes a joke. And then came the real gut punch. A video, short, raw, and heartbreaking, from a veteran who competed in the very first Invictus Games. He stood there, proudly wearing his medal, looked straight into the camera and said, "Harry, we still respect what you started, but respect, it's earned, not inherited. Don't walk away from us." The internet erupted. Millions of views. It wasn't just commentary anymore. It was pain, real disappointment. The kind that stings more than headlines. Prince Harry, once the rogue royal with a mission, now suddenly looks lost. The UK no longer fears him. The US doesn't idolize him. And the firm, the very monarchy he ditched, might have just slammed the door shut. And Graham Norton, silent, not a peep. No apology, no Instagram story. Just moved on. Classic Graham. He doesn't need to defend himself. The footage says it all. But Harry, he's not moving on. He's sitting in the wreckage, a legacy crumbling, a narrative that slipped out of his hands, live on national television. The cameras may have stopped rolling, but the chaos, oh, it's just getting started. Backstage, it was pure meltdown mode. Sources say Harry was livid, like full-blown rage. Slammed a water bottle at the wall. Demanded answers. "Why was I set up?" he reportedly shouted. But like, was he? Or was this just the first time someone said what everyone else was thinking and didn't sugarcoat it? Harry thought this would be a puff piece, a cute little PR win. Instead, it was a catastrophe. Even his fans struggled to justify the outburst. "You can't champion wounded warriors and then storm off like a diva," one person tweeted. Another wrote, "Harry wanted to be a celeb. Well, this is what celebs get." Royal watchers pounced. Angela Levin, never one to hold back, told GV News, "What we saw was a prince out of his depth. He's used to Montecito adoration. But this is Britain. We don't coddle royalty here." And the palace? Oh, they were loving it privately, of course. One aide reportedly joked that was better than anything on Netflix. Savage. But what really made this so explosive wasn't just the walk-off. It was the symbolism. Harry, the war vet, the soldier prince, the man who once inspired millions, got laughed off the stage on his home turf. The same soil he once served on now chuckled him right off live TV. 10 years ago, he was saluted with honor. Now, he is being saluted with sarcasm. And the questions just keep coming. Can Harry even return to a UK stage without getting heckled now? Can he face the Invictus community, the same one that once worshipped him? Insiders say Harry is shattered, betrayed, exposed, humiliated. He is already pulled out of 2 other media appearances during this London trip. There's even talk he might fly back to California early just to avoid more heat. And Meghan, dead silent. Her team refused to comment, but those close to her say she warned him. She reportedly told Harry not to do UK interviews unless content was pre-approved. And let's be real, maybe she was right. Because this wasn't just a bad interview, it was a collapse. A cold, unscripted reminder that the UK hasn't forgotten, and definitely hasn't forgiven. One commentator said it best, he wanted to control the narrative, but tonight, the narrative controlled him. As for Graham, iconic. Ended the show like a boss, glass of wine in hand, smirking, "Next time we'll stick to actors. They're better at pretending." Boom. Fade to black. Prince Harry had left the building and the nation took notice. What comes next? That's still unfolding, but let's be honest. The PR campaign Harry came to launch, dead on arrival. What should have been his redemptive homecoming turned into a giant red flag. Fans of the monarchy, smug. One post read, "This isn't America. We don't clap for arrogance." But what's truly devastating, the veterans, his own community, are whispering doubt. Not about the games, about him, the founder, the symbol, the man they once rallied behind. headline: sponsors nervous, organizers anxious. The question echoing across social feeds, media outlets, and boardrooms: can Harry recover? Meanwhile, Graham Norton's episode breaking records on BBC iPlayer, the ratings through the roof. People are calling him the man who did what no palace press officer ever could: hold Harry accountable with a smile. And now Hollywood's watching. Word is executives at Netflix and Spotify are re-evaluating all Sussex content. The Sussex sparkle, it might be fading fast. And Harry reportedly spent the night alone at a private residence, ignored calls. Bodyguards say he paced for hours, watching the segment on loop, obsessing over every second, every laugh, every word. He knows this wasn't just a rough night. This was a public takedown, a loss of image, a blow to everything he's worked to reshape. And still, Meghan? Silence. No posts, no interviews, not even a podcast quote, just silence. And honestly, that silence is screaming, because the world, it's already made up its mind. The night Prince Harry walked into a comedy show and couldn't take the joke will never be forgotten.